I don't know if this is going to work, but if you look at this diagram, you can see that the human body is more complex than most people give credit to. And if you look at this, it definitely showcases the energetic bodies that we are comprised of. So when we talk about diet, I mean, let's see, you have these 7 energy centers running through your body that extend outside of you to create a energetic body, or it almost looks like a protective casing or of some sort. But yeah, it kind of like is generated from within you, and it expands out. I don't know, some sources say 9 feet, some say 12 feet, 20 feet, can probably go even further. But I mean, that kind of correlates with the ripple effect, if you ask me. And this video is going to be about your diet. What are you feeding yourself? So each chakra, in order to balance and align that, it needs necessary things. It needs you to be emotionally balanced in some way, energy and motion balanced in some way. And if for some reason one of your chakras are imbalanced due to your energetic diet, emotional diet, then of course things may go awry in life. Also, we like to think about diet as, just the food you consume, but I've mentioned this in other videos, how, what are you consuming on a mental level, like your inner dialogue, and how you're allowing external things to influence that mental dialogue, that internal dialogue, that inner voice that speaks to you, So yeah, you have a mental diet, you have an emotional diet that kind of, determines how your chakras operate and how fully functional they are or not functional they are. And then you also have the food that you feed your physical body. I honestly, if I were to be completely honest, I don't eat much. I barely eat. In fact, I cut out eating breakfast and lunch, and I'll have very small dinners. Of course, I do snack on the side, so I'm not like completely like abstaining from everything, like little pleasures like potato chips and ice cream and stuff. But yeah, I have a very minimal diet. I barely eat. I mostly drink water, if I were to be honest, and I feel like I'm more energetic than most people that consume a lot of food on a regular basis, or even like a moderate amount of food. So, something to think about, and I just made this video for food for thought. So what are you feeding yourself? What is your diet? Have you ever maybe taken the time to sit and think about that? And also when it comes to like my mental diet, I've noted that a lot of the people around me are hypercritical, but then I also notice that that's a projection of them. So I choose not to adopt or be influenced by their thoughts. So I just kind of make sure my head, my mental clarity is clear. I try to, sit with any uncomfortable emotions so they don't get lodged or stuck in my body. I like to get out in nature because I think nature feeds, nature is like the best, it just kind of grounds you and helps you to reach a state of equilibrium, keeps you present in the moment, reminds you of your true self. The tree isn't trying to impress anyone. The tree isn't trying to work 40 to 80 hours a week. The tree isn't trying to get money. The tree is just being. So that's why nature is also such a essential part of, I feel like, your diet. People don't take that into account. That's why I think like people who have a tendency to live in like concrete jungles, they probably don't feel as balanced as someone who lives in a place that's more tropical and not as overly populated or congested. Just a personal opinion. But yeah, I mean, if I look at it that way, it just kind of makes sense. What else was I gonna say about this? Yeah, and what else? Emotions, getting out in nature, watching what you eat, like on all levels. Like people just think about eating and their diet being comprised of food, like actual food that you consume. But I mean, you got to think about the mental, the emotional, and also the energetic. There's a lot of things that are unseen but are very real that we don't acknowledge in the world. And I think that's a pretty important piece of the puzzle that maybe most people bypass because, of course, we've been kind of conditioned to just kind of focus on the physical aspects of life, but there's more to it than that. There's a lot of unseen things that also comprise. In fact, I had an acupuncturist one time that told me that, everything that appears to be like material or how do I say? He said like it's not even real. It's just like a lot of like it's energy vibrating at a very dense rate to form a material thing. And when you vibrate it higher, it becomes unseen. I don't know, they don't teach you that stuff in school, but if you learn something cool, if you didn't, cool. Just food for thought, something to munch on a mental level. Blessings to one and all. Amen.